So we'll start the class. Today is the first day. Uh, Mainly, we're going to uh, study on the text called the Song of Spiritual Experience, which is a condensed point of the stages of the path. Uh, the Lamrim uh, text, which written by Lama Tsongkhapa, and it is kind of the one of the most important the practice, the Lamrim. That is why the Lama Tsongkhapa wrote number of texts on this practice, extensive one, medium one. This is the short versions of the Lamrim. So I received this oral transmission blessing from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So then if you wants to take also oral transmission blessing, so then you should set up the good intention, what you call seeing me as a teacher, then you need to listen. And otherwise, you're not going to receive the oral transmission, but you can, the newcomer who do not know about me, then you are not rushed to see me as a teacher. Rather, you set up the intention as a Dharma friend, out of Dharma friends and listening the teaching and investigate and check. Finally, if you really feel, oh, this guy is qualified to be my teacher, then you should show your guru seeing me as your teacher. And until that, don't just, decided you are my teacher without you knowing me anything, and you just, seeing me as a teacher is not good. That's not right way to do. So that's why I'm always telling you, make sure you should kind of always check it, your intention. So most of you know me, so that's the few of them maybe do not know. So you're just seeing me as a Dharma friends. Out of that, receive the teachings, but not receiving the oral transmission blessing, but as at least understanding the Dharma. That's also very good, right? So who are know me, who are already my students, then not only learning the Dharma, also receiving the oral transmission, the blessing. That's quite important as a practitioners. We need kind of the blessing. We call the unbroken lineage masters blessing since Buddha Shakyamuni, right, to your teachers. So unbroken lineage masters blessing. That's also important. So before we start the teaching, as usual, I know we're going to recite here kind of the few prayers, which I make here kind of very simple prayers. So first, actually the first five stanza it's the prayer, the homage prayer, which is our actual text already have that. So I use that, homage prayer to the Buddha Shakyamuni and Manjushri and Maitreya Buddha, Nagarjuna and Arya Sangha, and then next Atisha Dibamkara, and then your root gurus, your root gurus, which are all your direct teachers, where you receive the teachings. So these are the five object of prayer. Then we're going to recite the homage verse to the perfection of wisdom, which is the wisdom of emptiness. And then reciting the mantra. And during that time, it is good to meditate emptiness. And then what you call, most of you know emptiness meditation. So some of you, maybe if you do not know, then during the recitation, the mantra, you at least kind of dedicate to yourself, in the future, I dedicate to yourself to future to achieve wisdom of emptiness, right? So, Jonathan, you should just, if there's somebody unmute, you just mute it. I give you host. So all these things, because during my teaching, it's a little bit disturbing me. And then after the mandala offerings and so forth. So,
I don't think you gave me the host ability.
Look it.
It did.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're going to start the first prayer. Already you have that prayer books, right? Everybody has prayer booklet. So we follow with this prayer. Your body is created from 1,000,000,000 perfect factors of goodness. Your speech satisfies the yearning of countless sentient beings. Your mind perceives all objects of knowledge exactly as they are. I bow my head to you, O chief of the Shakya clan. You are the most excellent sons of each such peerless teacher. You carry the burden of the enlightenment activities of all conquerors, and in countless realms you engage in static display of emanations. I pay homage to you, O Maitreya and Manjushri. So difficult to fathom is the mother of all conquerors. You who unravel its contents as it is are the jewels of the world. You are held with great fame in all three spheres of the world. I pay homage to you, O Nagarjuna and Asanga, stemming from these two great territories with excellence are the two parts of the profound view and vast conduct. You are the custodian of the treasury of instructions encompassing all essential points of these parts without error. I pay homage to you, O Dipankara. You are the eyes to see all the myriad collections of scriptures. To the fortunate ones traveling to freedom, you illuminate the excellent path. You do this through skillful deeds, strive forth by compassion. I pay respectful homage to you, O all my spiritual mentors. I bow down to the mother of the conquerors of the three times, the perfection of wisdom inexpressible by words or thoughts, which is unproduced and unceased like the entity of the sky, the object of wisdom of unique knowledge. Taya tha gati gati para samgati buddhi soha, taya tha gati gati para samgati buddhi soha, taya tha gati para samgati buddhi soha. May all negative forces opposed to Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problem and harmful conditions to Dharma. May all enjoyment to be in accord with the Dharma. And may there be auspiciousness and perfect happiness right here now. Now, this is the kind of the ornament of realization, the text which is written by Maitreya, and this is the kind of homage praise at the beginning of the text. By the knower of all, here is seeking pacification are lead to peace. By the knower of parts, those benefiting migrating beings accomplish the welfare of the world. By the perfect compositions of it, the subduer teach the verity possessing all aspects to these mothers of the Buddhas, together with a host of hearers and Bodhisattvas homage. Next prayer is written by Arya Nagarjuna, Mula Madhyamika Karika, which is called the perfection, no, the fundamental wisdom. This is also the homage praise. He, he who taught dependent origination, no cessation and no origination, no inhalations and no permanence, no coming and no going, neither difference nor same, these true climbing of conceptual elaborations to you whose supreme speaker among all fully enlightened Buddhas, I pay homage. So this is similar like a Heart Sutra, no cessation, no origination, all that no, which means inherently, right? There are no inherent existence of cessation, no inherent existence of permanent. That's how you have to describe. So then next is the mandala offering. So it's kind of Buddhist tradition, without request to teach, you cannot teach them. So that's why the mandala, you visualizing your virtue and manifest as some universe, then you offer to the teacher requesting, please teach us the kind of precious dharma. So I'm going to recite in English today, okay? This ground adorned with the perfume stone with flower, adorned with Mount Meru for continent and sun and moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. Yidam Guru Ratna Mandala Kanyayataya Me. So this one is most important, taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. So as a teacher or as a listeners, we all, make sure, take refuge to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, which means it help us, you rely on Buddha Dhamma Sangha is for sake of subdue your distracted emotion, right? For sake of Jonathan, you didn't unmute some of them unmute there. Purpose of giving you this is to mute them. Yes, please mute. Yeah, then it can, somebody will not going to hear properly. So taking refuge, the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, which mainly, as a practitioner, we should really, you go to the last one, just mute all. You don't see the last one. I can see here some unmute. Okay, so take refuge, the Buddha Dhamma Sangha is mainly as an individual yourself, understanding, right? Your destructive emotions, like mental afflictions, for instance, anger, attachments, and selfish, and so forth, and your negative karmas, right? You have these. And because of this, you're suckling in samsara. So what we need to know is we need to really feel concern. You should feel concerned to all of these kind of what you call the obstacles, like your mental affliction, your karma, and your sufferings. Concern all of this. Then only the way to overcome this through Buddha Dhamma Sangha, the help of Buddha Dhamma Sangha can able to overcome. That's why you rely on Buddha Dhamma Sangha, right? So it helps you, purpose of listening this teaching is not becoming scholar, become a this or that. It's for sake of overcome your destructive emotions. That's how taking refuge helps you. All the practice you learn, you apply for yourself to overcome your destructive emotions. Then that taking refuge helps you. All your practice, listening the Dharma, the merit you accumulated, all of them becoming Buddhist practice means becoming causes of freedom of your destructive emotions, right? Then generating bodhicitta, because in order to becoming Mahayana Buddhist, Mahayana practice, you have to have bodhicitta. right? Doesn't mean I'm listening Mahayana text, doesn't mean it's become a Mahayana Buddhist. It's absolutely individuals, your intention. So if you're listening out of bodhicitta, any merit you accumulate will become, courses of Buddhahood. That's how it's called Mahayana. So bodhicitta means, bodhi means enlightenment, right? Chitta, chit means mind. So which means the yourself first concern all other sentient beings, like a mother sentient beings, how much they suffer, right? All this suffering come from their ignorance. So you wish them, all of them, be free from suffering. That's called compassion to all of them. Out of compassion, then you're generating, are you going to help them? Are you going to save them? That's called unusual attitude. So in order to save them, I need to achieve Buddhahood, right? Without achieving Buddhahood yourself, you cannot able to save others, right? That's why seeking oneself to become a Buddha for sake of all sentient beings. So in order to achieve Buddhahood, you need to what you call generate all this realization, right? Achieve the realization. In order to achieve bodhicitta, renunciation, emptiness, whatever, first you need to know, right? Without knowing, you cannot cultivate them. That's why I'm listening, I'm learning, right? Listening this text to understand all this realization. And then I will going to put my practice and finally to achieve Buddhahood myself for sake of all sentient beings. It's not just only for myself. That kind of mind is called bodhicitta, right? That intention is very, very important. So out of this intention, when we listen, practice anything you do, all of those practice become Mahayana Buddhist, practice, Mahayana Dharma, which means all of merit you accumulate becoming unique causes of enlightenment, Buddhahood. So that's why uh, this is most important. So we're going to recite the refuge, taking refuge and generating bodhicitta 3 times with meditation on bodhicitta and uh, refuge. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the accumulations I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulations I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulations I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. And the last verse, specific, to remember the kindness of the Buddha, his teaching on Dharma, give us this huge, important knowledge. He lived here, left here. So with tremendous benefit to us, this knowledge, if you really use properly, this knowledge will take you to the ultimate happiness called enlightenment, Buddhahood. So all of this without Buddha is not exist in all over, right? It's not exist at all. It it is exists in this planet because of the Gautam Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni. So we should really remember his kindness of teaching the Dharma. Through that, we're prostrating to the Buddha Shakyamuni. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted view. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I make prostration. Okay, so this is first kind of the preliminary kind of practice. So uh, out of bodhicitta intention. Now the actual classes here, the text called Songs of the Spiritual Experience, condensed point of the stages of the path. So the songs of spiritual experience. So Lama Tsongkhapa himself, right, put it into the practice and achieve all this realization. So his own experience that he share us, right? He put all this lam rim, the stages of the path, to enlightenment. This important practice, very condensed way, right? That's why it's called the condensed point of the stages of the path. So, and that part is not like a scholar. You just read it and you just teach. Not only that, he himself put it into the practice, fully achieved each of this realization, then he shared to us. So it's kind of very powerful and a very powerful teaching, very powerful kind of the message. This is a very good opportunity to hear these important teachings. So, but of rejoice, right? Listening is important. So I mentioned it is kind of also the oral transmission. So I'm going to recite first in Tibetan each stanza, then go to the English and explain. Lamrim dudu lamrim nyamkur. Pyunzo gele chibe tube ko taye tube rewa kongwe su nali sheja jishi sikbe to sage zo de la kwe cha tse. Your body is created from a billion perfect factor of goodness. Your speech satisfies the yearning of countless sentient beings. Your mind perceives all objects of knowledge exactly as they are. I bow my head to you, O chief of the Shakya clan. So when the Lamrim started teaching, we need to understand this kind of the what you call there are some special qualities the Lamrim has. The first, when they teach, that's called to explanation of the Lamrim, the stages of the path to enlightenment has 4 parts, kind of 4 different headings. The first one is showing the greatness of the teachings author in order to establish that it is of noble origin. So, which means these teachings, first showing the greatness of the teachings, which is this text author, the text author, in order to establish that it is of noble origin. So these teachings comes from where? A source. And it's very important because today we have number of teachings where we can say new age style. You just make it, you just create it, people like it, you can just make it and you can just give them, right? Sometimes like this possible. But as a traditionally Buddhist, all the teachings, if that's Buddhist teaching, that means its source come from Buddha, right? The founder, the Buddhas. So something contradict with the Buddha, that means it's not reliable source. So that is why we need to understanding the source of this teaching come from where, right? It's come from noble origin, from Buddha Shakyamuni. So that's why the homage, this is the homage verses, right? Praise. The first homage verses is to Buddha Shakyamuni. So, here saying, I bow my head to you, O chief of the Shakya clan, right? Shakya clan And during Buddha's, in India, they have a caste system, many castes. So Buddha is the Shakya caste, Shakya clan. So he's the chief of the Shakya clan. That's why I call Buddha Shakyamuni, right? Shakyamuni, because of the Shakya is the name of the caste. So that where he belongs to, which caste, which clan. So he's from Shakya. That's why chief of the Shakya is Buddha Shakyamuni, Gautam Buddha. So the praise first to the Buddha means this teaching, the source comes from Buddha Shakyamuni. If this is the case, what's the first teaching? Buddha's teaching. Which teaching is the source, like a source of this Lamrim, right? It's Buddha turned the 3 times, right? The 3 times turning the wheel of Dharma, 3 times. First wheel of Dharma is Four Noble Truth, right? Second wheel of Dharma is called Pranja Pramita Sutra. That's sutra. Pranja Pramita Sutra, which means the perfection of wisdom sutra. Among the hundreds of sutra around there, one of the most important sutra is called the Pranja Pramita Sutra. It's the most important sutra. So that sutra taught by Buddha in the place called Rajgiri, right? The Rajgiri is in India. Today, the state, that state called the Bihar state, right? And Rajgiri is this one kind of the kingdom. The kingdom is close there. And close to the kingdom, there is one big mountain. That mountain called Vulture Peak Mountain, right? Vulture Peak Mountain. Today, when you go to the pilgrimage, you can still go there. These mountains are still there. Vulture Peak. So sometimes they call this mountain shape, it looks like a vulture's wing. That's why they call Vulture Peak. Some scholars say different way. It doesn't matter why they call this Vulture Peak, but that's mountain, the top of the mountain. When you go to the pilgrimage, you can see the Buddha's little throne there, where he taught the Pranja Pramita Sutra, right? Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. And that sutra is the source of this Lamrim practice, come from that sutra. So when he teach the Pranjaparamita Sutra has, extensive version, medium version, and short version. Extensive version has 100,000 stanza, right? In Tibetan, the volume, we have around, I think, 12 volumes. Is 100,000 stanza, extensive one. Medium one, which has 20,000 stanza, I think 3 volumes or something, 20,000 stanza. The short version, which has 8,000 stanza, 1 volume, right? These 3 different versions. Then shortest one is the Heart Sutra, right? Most of you know that, Heart Sutra. So the Heart Sutra has around 25 stanza or something, right? So all those texts called Pranjaparamita Sutra, right? The English called Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. So that sutra taught by Buddha. So therefore, this Lamrim text which today we are studying, that source, the origin, the source this teaching come from, Pranjaparamita Sutra. So that's why we should say where they originated this teaching. They originated from Buddha Shakyamuni. That is why it's called, showing the greatness of this teaching, author, in order to establish that it is of noble origin. It's the origin from noble origin, right? They come from noble origins. So when the Buddha teach this Pranjaparamita Sutra, there are many students, Buddhist sadhus, or human beings, and the student from God realms also, right? Student from God realms, student from human beings, both they are here and listening this time. So therefore, the first, this marvelous important practice originate from the Buddha. So that's why we feel appreciate to the Buddha, right? Appreciation. So understanding the kindness of this important dharma, which come from Buddha. So that's why knowing the Buddha's kindness, knowing his qualities, through that, what you feel, it can generate you respect and attitudes, right? And what you call the faith and respect attitude. That's prostration. When we say, I prostrate to the Buddha, majority people just you bowing, you have, prostration, they have a different style for each different tradition. But sometimes we're just doing external things. But the real prostration is come with the mind, which called the devotion. Devotion, which means, what does that mean? Faith and respect attitude. The faith comes from understanding his qualities of the body, speech, and mind. When you're really understanding the quality of his body, speech, and mind, when you really see that, it helps to grow your faith. And respect attitude through understanding of his kindness, right? So meditate on his good qualities, his kindness helps to grow your faith and respect attitudes. And what is this benefit to have faith and respect attitude? Lots of benefit. First thing is when you doing bowing, right? Out of tremendous your faith and respect attitude to Buddha, when you're doing prostrating, it helps to reduce your arrogance, right? As a Buddhist practitioner, when we go to the temple, the first practice what we do, we're bowing to the Buddha, right? We're prostrating to the Buddha. What that means? That means when we go to the temple, it's not just only to worshiping. It's not only for the worshiping. It's also one of the purpose is go to the temple is to learn the Buddha Dharma, right? That's one of the main purpose. Our temples are the Dharma Institute, like a Dharma Institute. We learn the Dharma from temple. Otherwise, modern school, you cannot learn anything, these things. Even you learn is more academic way, right? Not the practical way. So the traditionally practical Dharma, you learn from the temple. That's why one of the purpose to go to the temple is to learn the Dharma. So in order to learn the Dharma, you need to remain your mind very humble, because too much ego, too much arrogance, you cannot learn anything. You don't want to listen. Oh, I know everything. I know everything. What do you learn? You cannot learn anything. It is saying your arrogance, egos are the one of the most dangerous obstacle to obstruct you to understanding the Dharma, to grow the Dharma, to grow your wisdom, to grow your knowledge. That is why first we need to suppress our ego and arrogance. Therefore, first practice when we go to the temple, we're doing the prostration, right? That's how. But that prostration is not only physical thing. So many Buddhists, what you call, we're doing prostration as like a culture way. Mentally, we don't think anything. We're just doing bowing like that. Our ego is, of course, not going to change these things. So sometimes we miss behind the meanings. Culture things we see, always we seeing things that the culture we see, but each those culture behind their huge important meanings, teaching there. So sometimes we don't understanding these things because just you look, you don't see these things, right? Then we don't get the main point and we just follow the cultures and not that much benefit, right? That is why the first, when we bring the prostration means mental prostration, which is tremendous faith and respect attitude. I touch my head. My head is the top of my body. I touch my forehead on Buddha's feet, right? In your feet. That means I'm very humble. I'm under your feet. Your knowledge, your what you call the realizations or your compassions are what you call unlimited, right? It's kind of the immeasurables. So compared with that, I'm nothing. So that's why I put my head on your feet through understanding his knowledge, his kindness. That's called what you call the prostration. So here, what kind of knowledge? Here saying your body is created from the billions perfect, right? Factors of goodness. Buddha's body has special, usually what you call, we call the 32 major and 80 minor marks of the Buddhas, right? Buddha's physical body has 32 excellent signs, auspicious signs, and 80 minor and auspicious signs, which is ordinary people, they don't have these kind of qualities, right? So among the 32, we don't have time to go each of these 32 signs, but among those 32 signs, one of the most important, there are three things are important, difficult to achieve. So one is called and the top of the Buddha, when you see that his statue, and on top of his head has a crown, right? It's called what you call protrusion, right? Protrusion, right? Protrusion at the crown. Tibetan we call tsuktor. That's the one of the most difficult among the 82 signs, excellent sign. This is most difficult to achieve. That what you call the protrusion. And his forehead here, middle forehead, has one long hair, kind of clockwise circling. When you pull it, you can pull very long. When you leave it, it just go back and circle there. I don't know what is called exactly the name. It's just forehead, between eyebrow, that's between there. Sometimes when you look in the Buddha statue, they're just painting there, right? That's the one you see is the one of the difficult sign, excellent sign. Then another one is he has divine voice, the voice. That's the three. So these three are most difficult achievement. Among these three, divine voice is the most difficult, which means each of those signs, 32 signs, you have to accumulate countless of merit. So that's why here saying your bodies create from a billions perfect factor of goodness. Billion perfect factors means virtues, merits. So each of those signs, 32 signs, you have to have billions and billions of merit to achieve this, right? Among the three, within the three, most difficult is divine voice. It's the most difficult. So that's why the what you call his body is kind of very, very special. When they talk about the teeth, he has 40 teeth, right? Usually people have how many? 30, 34, 36 or something, right? Not sure how much we have, 32 or 36 or something. But the Buddha has 40 teeth. And he's, each of the finger has, between there we have an empty, but Buddha has kind of the very fine kind of the skin between each fingers. And his like bottom of his feet has a wheel of dharma. So it kind of, there's 32, we don't need to go all of this, each of them. But we should understand he has special qualities, right? And then second, you say your speech satisfy the yearning of countless of sentient beings. So usually, when we're talking about the speech quality, there are 60 qualities of Buddha's speech, 60 different qualities of the Buddha's speech. Buddha have that. But among there, one of the most important is here saying, your speech satisfy the yearning of countless of sentient beings. So that he has each different peoples, he can teach different philosophy according to each of the mental dispositions. That is why Buddha's teaching, we have a Theravada tradition, Mahayana tradition. Within the Mahayana, Sutrayana, Vajrayana, right? That's general. Then each of the Theravada's tradition has 18 different type of the sub-schools, 18 different sub-schools. Within the Mahayana and what you call the philosophy term, we have 4 different schools, right? All these different tenets. Vaibhashaka, which is called Great Exposition, Sutra, Swatantika Sutra School, what you call the Chittamatra, Mind-Only School, and Madhyamika, Middle Way School. Different philosophies. Within each school, they have a sub-schools, right? Two sub-schools. So it's a variety philosophy. Them, all of these teachings, source come from Buddha. All of them have source, they have to rely on one of the Buddha Sutra. Without source, none of Buddhist scholar will write any book, any text. When they wrote it, always there's a source come sutra, one of the sutra, they rely on that. So otherwise, you miss the source. Then I mentioned earlier, right? If the teaching not come from Buddha, that means there's something wrong there. So it's hard to understand or how to believe these things. So that is how Buddha has special kind of the mind we call omniscient, right? Omniscient, which means perceive each and all phenomena directly. So according to each beings have mental disposition, he taught different way for each difference. That's why he satisfied the yearning of countless sentient beings, right? Mahayana practitioners satisfy, Theravada practitioners satisfy. Then each philosophy schools, the tenet student, their own way to teaching that. That's why he has very skillful way. That kind of unique talent only Buddha has. None of the teacher in this planet have that. That's why your speech is satisfy the yearning of countless sentient beings, right? Then the third, your mind perceive all objects of knowledge exactly as they are. All object of knowledge, all phenomena, you put it into two kind of phenomena. One is called conventional truth. One is called ultimate truth, right? Buddha perceived conventional and ultimate both in simultaneously, directly. That kind of wisdom only enlightened beings has. None of other have this kind of wisdom, who can perceive, who can recognize true truth, conventional and ultimate simultaneously, directly, right? That kind of knowledge. So that's what I call your mind perceiving all objects of knowledge exactly as they are. That's very, very important. Exactly as they are means, the Buddhist way of, what you call the practice is based on reality. We cannot ignore the reality. We have to go with the reality. Nature, reality, nobody can change it, right? You have to go with the reality. So in order to go with the reality, you need to first know what's the reality, the basic. So conventional, ultimate. But sometimes people goes to the religion, you follow sometimes unrealistic things, right? You are not following with the reality thing. You just make yourself something unrealistic. That's not suit with the Buddhist way. If the Buddhist way of practicing is you follow to understanding the reality based on that reality. How should I fix my problem? Right? You need to apply through the reality. So that's why he has the knowledge, the omniscient, which precedes all the objects of the knowledge, conventional, ultimate, and as they are, means their truth, right? As they are. Therefore, I bow my head to you, O chief of the Shakya clan. That's why understanding of that kind of knowledge you have, right? Because of that reason, I bow down to you. I bowed my head, to you. So that means you bowing, you prostrating to the Buddha through understanding the Buddha's quality of his body, speech, and mind, Buddha's kindness of sharing all this knowledge to us. So because of that, knower helps you to create you tremendous your respect attitude to the Buddha. Faith. That's why automatically, right, you'll be respecting. That's why it's called I bow down my head to you, O chief of the Shakya clan. Today, many Buddhists, we go to the temple, we just see the Buddha statue there. Oh, just we do that. Do you understand Buddha's quality? Do you know Buddha's knowledge? Do you know Buddha's kindness? Some of we do not know. Because that's our tradition. You just go, you just bow, and sometimes, oh, you're supposed to be bow this way, you're supposed to be sit that way. You are very much what you call sensitive on external thing, this way or that way. How should I do? How should I do? Which kind of mudra I have to hold it? Then people feel nervous, right? Is this the right way to do? Or this the wrong way to do? When you focus only that, these are the ritual. This physical action should come from something inside the mind. Sometimes inside we are empty. We don't have inside. It's just going outside. That's why prostrating when we prostrating to the Buddha, of course, it's not helping us to reduce our ego, our arrogance. Our ego's arrogance remain exactly the same level. So because it's not come from our inside, right? That's why it is very, very important. So that's why first stanza, bowing to the Buddha. Then second, so after the Buddha, then Buddha being in this planet, it's been like 2,500-600 years ago. It's already gone, right? So teachings are still remain here. Panchaparamita Sutras are still here. It's live, right? All these teachings are live. So who hold these things? After Buddha passed away, they not disappear, right? Who helps to keep this teaching live? That's the second stanza. Bhametempa ti seji cho, gewetseba kunji kurnamni, changme shinto tribe namreba, mepam chambe yangla tsakselos. You are the most excellent sons of such peerless teacher. You carry the burden of the enlightenment activities of all the conquerors. And in countless realms, you engage in ecstatic display of emanations. I pay homage to you, O Maitreya and Manjushri. So when Buddha taught the Prajnaparamita Sutra, I told you, that among the disciples, some of the disciples from the God realms, some of the disciples from human realms. So these are the two, Maitreya and the Manjushris are the Buddhist sadhus, which are from God realms, right? They are from God realms, come to listen Buddha's teaching. So that's why you're saying you are the most excellent sons. So both the Maitreya and the Manjushri are the most excellent sons, means most excellent disciple, students, right? Of such peerless teacher. Of peerless teacher is the Buddha, right? So always, as a Buddhist, I often telling you, when you see the Buddha, we always seeing him as a teacher. It's very, very important. Because when we take refuge to the Buddha Dharma Sangha, right? Taking refuge to the Buddha as a teacher, it's not something miracle things. Many Buddhist people have Buddha means something miracle. I pray to the Buddha, Buddha will fix all my problems. That kind of thoughts they have, right? That that's contradict with the Buddha's his own philosophy, right? Here, Buddha means teacher. That's why here saying such a peerless teacher, matchless, unrevealed, right? That kind of teachers. Nobody can, match to the Buddha. Reason is where his teacher quality, the knowledge which he has is under the peerless, his kindness and love to their student, we call the equally to entire students, peerless, powerful. Then he have very skillful way how to teach, right? Very skilled. Variety students give variety way of teaching style he has, right? So full of love and compassion, full of knowledge, and not only that, he himself free from all this ignorance, all the distractions, and upon there, very skillful. Upon there, he has very much strong kind of tolerate, kind of patience when they teach to the students. So that's why it's called peerless teacher. So Manjushri and Maitreya, you are the best, excellent students of the Buddha Shakyamuni, such a peerless teacher, right? Then second, you carry the burden of enlightened activity of all conquerors. So you carry the burden of all the Buddhas and the activities of all the conquerors. Conquerors means the Buddhas, right? All the Buddhas means Manjushri and the Maitreya. These are the two which is one of the most important, the kindness, the master for us. Maitreya focus on the method aspect of the Buddha's teaching, right? Manjushri focus or what you call specialize on the wisdom aspect of the Buddha's teachings, right? So all this method aspect of the path practice, all the wisdom aspect of the practice, these are the two bodhisattvas carry. So that's why all the Buddhas and bodhisattvas, right, their burden, you carry their burden of all the Buddhas and bodhisattvas, because Buddhas, their purpose of their activity is, their job is to teach us, to guide us, to help us, right? 1,000 Buddhas around there. But who did for this planet is Maitreya and Manjushri, right? These are the two. So they carry the burden of the enlightened activities of all the conquerors. And you accomplish realms, you engage in static dispel of emanation. So Manjushri and Maitreya emanated countless of beings, like ordinary beings in this planet. Like when we talk about the Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Tsongkhapa is one of the emanation of Manjushri, right? Lama Tsongkhapa is. So Manjushri and the Buddha of Compassion, Vajrapani, these three deity, right, put it into one form. It's the Lama Tsongkhapa, right? He comes with that kind of forms. So it's just not we are saying, it's already in the sutras. They already have this kind of the what you call prophecy, right? They already have this. So like that, Manjushri emanate variety emanation masters to teach to the variety people. So your countless realm, you engage in the static display of emanation. I pay homage to you, O Maitreya and Manjushri. So Pranjaparamita Sutra, that sutra I mentioned earlier, the source of the teaching Buddha's, the second wheel of Dharma, when Buddha taught, there are two different ways. One called explicity and implicity. So the explicity, Buddha taught emptiness, ultimate truth in that sutra. Implicity, Buddha taught method aspect, the lamrim, the stages of the paths, right? So when you look at in that text, Pranjaparamita Sutra, explicitly emptiness. Like for instance, Heart Sutra. When you look at Heart Sutra, explicitly emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form is not other than emptiness, no eye, no ear. It's explicitly is talk about all this emptiness, right? But the implicity, all the parts, when you divide it, Heart Sutra, accumulation part, preparation part, seeing part, meditation part, no more learning part. One by one, each different, what you call the paragraphs, give different parts, implicity. But the explicity is just emptiness. Even the mantra, gate, gate, right? Gate means gone, right? Gone, gone. Gate in Indian language, right? Gate, gate, gone, gone. Paragate, gone beyond. Parasamgate, go utterly beyond. Bodhisoha means enlightenment, right? Achieve the enlightenment. So gate, first gate, what they're talking, preparation part, accumulation part, sorry, first gate. Second gate, preparation part, right? It refers. Third, paragate, we refers seeing part. Parasamgate refers meditation part. Bodhisoha, that refers enlightenment. 5 parts, right? Even that mantra, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Go first, accumulation part, next preparation part, third seeing part, then meditation part, finally enlightenment, no more learning part, right? Even that mantras. So that's why the Pranjaparamita Sutra, when you look at explicitly, it talk about ultimate truths. Implicitly, all the method aspect of the teaching. That's why, from the explicitly perspective, in that part, Manjushri is the one take main responsibility and spread that, right? Manjushri is the who holds the Pranjaparamita Sutras, the subject of explicitly. Implicitly, main student, Maitreya. Maitreya is the one who keep that implicit teachings of the Pranjaparamita Sutta, all the method aspect of the practice, right? So the Maitreya Buddha wrote the text called the Ornament of Realization, right? When you look at this Ornament of Realization, it's all talking about the paths, method aspect of the practice, right? So that is why after the Buddha, who keep these very important teachings, who hold it, Manjushri and Maitreya. Manjushri is specific focus on explicit subject of the Pranjaparamita Sutra. Maitreya specific holds carry the implicit teachings of the Pranjaparamita Sutra. That is why, I pay homage to you. Lama Tsongkhapa says, I pay homage to you, O Maitreya and Manjushri. That's how we should look. When we look Maitreya and Manjushri, wisdom deity can help to give you wisdom or something, right? It's something, nothing related with us. It's something deity there. So when you really think about Manjushri, it's the one of our lineage holder. Today, I can able to study emptiness philosophy because of the Manjushri. After the Buddha, right? And after that, Nagarjuna. Between Buddha to Nagarjuna, it takes many centuries, right? Between that, who keep it this? Who carry this? Maitreya Buddha, Manjushri. That's how we should remember Manjushri, which means not something deity with a sword or something, right? Not only that, something like a really related with us, something, the blessing we're still receiving from them. These are the beings who hold this. Then same Maitreya, right? After Buddha to all the way Arya Asanga, till that, much longer, right? Arya Asanga arrives around 4th, 5th centuries. Nagarjuna has a little bit kind of complicated history here, there, but mostly they believe as the second centuries, right? So according to the sutra, Buddha Sutra, he usually in the sutra they're saying, after Buddha passed away, after 400, then Nagarjuna will arise, in the sutra. But today, I don't know, this historical people who research in this, Nagarjuna was second century, or sometimes complicated because Nagarjuna name is quite popular. So many scholars use that name, Nagarjuna. As a one time, even just our generation, there's a one movie actor in India, South India. His name is Nagarjuna. I first do not know. I'm searching in computer Nagarjuna. It comes out there's the one guy. I said, who's this guy? They say, oh, his name is also Nagarjuna. That's how, this name things makes very complicated for the history, kind of the people who study on history. So I think that's why second century or somehow, at least 400-500 years gap, after Buddha. So that's why we remember, to the Maitri and Manjushri who, helps to hold these teachings, right? That's why second prostration is Maitreya and Manjushri. Then the third, Sinto Popar Kawe Gyayum, Jishi Komba Deze Zamlinge, Ludo Tome Chen Sasuna, Yonso Tabesha Da Cha says, which means so difficult to fathom. Phantom is the mother of all conquerors. You who unravel its contents as it is are the jewels of the world. You are held with great fame in all three spheres of the world. I pay homage to you, O Nagarjuna and Asanga. Right? Now, next order. After Maitreya and Manjushri, then who comes after? Nagarjuna and Asanga. These are the two Indian great masters, right? They are the two, receive this teaching. So difficult to fathom is the mother of all conquerors. So, which means so difficult to understand. It's very deep. Is the mother of all conquerors, which is Prajnaparamita Sutra, right? Prajnaparamita Sutra is called the mother of all conquerors. It is Prajnaparamita Sutra, it's very deep. So it's very profound. So it's very difficult to understand. So you who unravel its content as it is are the jewels of the world. So you, which is Nagarjuna and Arya Asangas, right? You are the who unravel its content. You are the one who clarify, right? Unravel, explain clear. So clarify its content as it is are the jewels of the world. That's why I call Nagarjuna and the Arya Asangas are in ancient India, the Indian masters called the jewels of the world. They are the ornaments of our world. Nagarjuna and Arya Asanga. Really, really great scholar, great practitioner. When you read it, their story, great practitioner. You are held the great famine of all three spheres of the world. So your fame, it's all over the three spheres of the world. You can go three spheres, which are three realms, which are desire realms, formless realms, or you can go, three spheres, which means under the ground and on the grounds and above the grounds of beings, which means your reputation is all over, which means. So I pay homage to Nagarjuna and Arya Asanga, right? These are the two great masters. So which means the Arya Asanga focus mostly on the method aspect of the teaching. Nagarjuna follow mainly wisdom aspect of the teaching. So today the Lamrim teaching, the stages of the path to enlightenment, right? The main teaching is conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. These are the main subject, which is ultimate bodhicitta, which means wisdom of emptiness. The main subject. So the purpose of studying the Lamrim is to achieve conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. Why these two are very, very important? Because all the sufferings which we've been experiencing causes by one's own mental affliction, right? Which Buddha already taught when he turned the first wheel of Dharma. He introduced Four Noble Truths. On that time, he already said all the suffering, the origin of suffering, the second noble truth, when he introduced mental afflictions and the karmas. Karma created by mental affliction, right? So all the suffering we've been experiencing is our own mental afflictions. So there are hundreds of mental afflictions which we have. All of those mental afflictions, where they come from? What are the fundamental causes of those mental afflictions? Buddha taught your self-centered attitude and your mind of self-grasping. These are the two which are the fundamental causes of mental afflictions, right? So that is why, in order to overcome self-centered attitude, bodhicitta is the best antidote attitude, can overcome your self-centered. In order to mind of self-grasping, right? In order to overcome mind of self-grasping, wisdom of emptiness, ultimate bodhicitta, is the best antidote attitude to your self-grasping. That is why bodhicitta in one hand, wisdom of emptiness, ultimate bodhicitta is the another hand. We always take these both combined, always. With bodhicitta in wisdom of emptiness, you can cut all your mental affliction, right? That's why the Lamrim is the focus. How to achieve that bodhicitta? How to achieve that wisdom of emptiness? You have to go step by step. You cannot just directly go there and study, practice bodhicitta. You cannot, right? To go to the college, you have to go to the first elementary school. Lower realization helps to higher realization, to achieve the higher realization. Without foundation, you cannot achieve that. That's why these texts will teach us the step by step. How should we go there? Therefore, Arya Asanga is the focus mainly on this bodhicitta side, method aspect. Arya Nagarjuna, which is focused mainly on wisdom aspect, wisdom side, right? So the Arya Asanga wrote number of texts, which called the five bhumi. There's a text called the five bhumi, 5 different texts called five bhumi, 5 ground by Arya Asanga. Upon that, there are many other texts. Upper Abhidharma. Abhidharma is two, lower and upper. Upper Abhidharma is wrote by Arya Asanga, right? Lower Abhidharma is taught by his younger brother, Vasubandhu, right? These all are method aspect. So Nagarjuna wrote one of the best, his text called Fundamental Wisdom, right? Fundamental Wisdom. He have 6 very important texts, the 6 different texts, the Nagarjuna. Among their, fundamental wisdom is the most important. So it's all talking about the emptiness, ultimate, bodhicitta. So that's why these 2 masters, human beings, right? After the Buddha, till get human beings, Between there, who helps? Maitreya and Manjushri, which are the God realms. They are from God realms beings, right? Century, they can remain. Then when the Nagarjuna then get teaching from Manjushri, and the Nagarjuna received teaching from the Manjushri. Arya Asanga received teaching from Maitreya Buddha. Actually, Arya Asanga, he go to there to see the Maitreya. And Maitreya live in the one of the God realms. It's called the Ganden. If you go to this, there are lots of realms. The God realms, the part of the desire realms. There are 6 different God realms which are part of the desire realms. There are 16, I think 16 God realms which part of the form realms. Then you go higher, there are 4 different God realms which belongs to formless realms. So there's lots of things around there. So among there, the God realms which belongs to desire realm, one of the God realms is called Ganden, and the Toshita heavens. So Maitreya live in that God realms in Toshita, at the monastery and teaching there. So Arya Asanga all the way go there, receive teaching from Maitreya. So that's why the ornament of realization today we have here, Arya Asanga is the one who bring this teaching from Maitreya to bring in this planet, right? So that's why the Arya Asanga received all this teaching from Maitreya, and Nagarjuna received from Manjushri. Therefore, since that, then it's now we get from the human realms, right? From that. So that's why these are the 2 first human beings, right? Who get this teaching from these 2 teachers. So that's why you say, we pay homage to both of those great 2 masters, Nagarjuna and Arya Asanga. When we go with the tenet, then the what you call the Arya Asanga is the pioneer, right? Pioneers pioneer, my pronunciation maybe. Jonathan, what do you call pioneer or pioneer?
I'm sorry, Geshe-la?
How you call this pioneer or the founder? What you
Pioneer.
Pioneer. What do I say again?
Pioneer.
So yeah, Arya Asanga is the pioneer of mind-only school. Mind-only school started from there. Actually, Buddha already teach during the 3rd wheel of Dharma. Buddha taught the mind-only school's philosophy, right? After that, these things are disappear. The Arya Asanga, who bring it back, this system. So it's called, sometimes they call Arya Asanga is the founder of the mind-only schools, Chittamatra. Sometimes they call Yogacara, right? Philosophy. And Nagarjuna is the founder, the pioneer of middle way school, Madhyamika, which is one of the highest Buddhist school. It's Nagarjuna. So today, we able to meditate on emptiness in the middle way school's viewpoint because of the Nagarjuna, right? Without him, this system will not exist in this planet. And everybody, all the Buddhist school, they talk about emptiness, right? It's the source. The Nagarjuna is the one who established middle way school, Madhyamika school's philosophy, right? He's the one, pioneers. And after the Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, Nagarjuna 2nd century, middle way school, then Arya Asanga around 4th and 5th century, he established the mind-only schools, which, emptiness, which means empty of external existence, when their perspective of emptiness in middle way. Nagarjuna, Madhyamika schools emptiness, which means empty of inherent existence, much subtle, and a much deeper, more complicated, right? But all this important philosophy, because of these two great masters. That's why today we have this. So we appreciate to them. That's why Lama Tsongkhapa bow down to these two great masters. Then the next, it's all, we have 8:30, yeah, okay. Then next, the stanza 4, stemming from these two great charioteers, right? Charioteers with excellency are the two parts of the profound view and vast conduct. You are the custodian of the treasury of instructor encompassing all essential points of these parts without error. I pay homage to you, O Dibamkara. Dibamkara is the Atisha Dibamkara, the Indian great master, right? So Atisha Dibamkara is around 10th and 11th century. This is the master. Atisha Dibamkara is the one who came to Tibet, who bring this Lamrim teaching, this important message. He is the one who bring it into the Tibet. So Atisha received both lineage, lineage from the Maitreya lineage. Maitreya to Arya Asanga is called the lineage of extensive deeds, right? Then from Buddha to Manjushri, Manjushri to Arya Nagarjuna, then all the way down, that lineage called lineage of profound view. So these two lineage of extensive deeds, lineage of profound view. Lineage of extensive deeds, which is more emphasized on method aspect of the teachings, Buddha's teachings, right? Lineage of profound view, which is more emphasized on philosophy, wisdom aspect. So Atisha Dibamkara got it both lineage, from his master. One of his main master, he have hundreds of teachers. Among them, one of the best, more kind, his teacher is called Sumatra, right? From the master from Indonesia, from the island called Sumatra Island, right? So he received that teaching from that master. I think his real name is Suvarnand Vipa or something, Suvarnand Vipa. So usually we call Sumatra. In the Tibetan, we call Lama Selingpa. So it's a Sumatra. So he received this teaching from Sumatra master. He traveled from India to all the way to the Indonesia through the boats, right, during the 10th centuries. Imagine it takes 13 months to get there, from India to there. So he stayed in Sumatra for 12 years, receiving teaching, practicing, till he fully achieved the bodhicitta. He remained there, take all the teachings, lineage, master's teaching from Sumatra, Master Sumatra. After he everything got it, then the Master Sumatra also told him, go to the land of snow, and you can benefit for more peoples, right? So finally, then Atisha came back to the India. Then finally, he came to the Tibet. So he is the one who brings this teaching to the Tibet. So that's why it's called stemming from these two great charioteers, two great, charioteers, which are Arya Asanga and Arya Nagarjuna, right? Charioteers, which means Arya Asanga, reestablish the mind on the school's view, and the Arya Nagarjuna reestablished the middle way schools. That's why called great charioteers, right? They are the who rebuilt these two, who bring these two teachings with excellency, are the two parts of the profound view and vast conduct. Two parts. One, method aspect of the paths, that's called vast conduct. One called wisdom aspect of the path, which is called profound view, right? So these two charioteers, Asanga and Nagarjuna, are the two parts, wisdom and method parts of the profound view. That part is from Nagarjuna, the lineage of and the vast conduct, which was the Arya Asanga's lineage, right? So what I mentioned earlier, the lineage of profound view and lineage of extensive deeds, vast conduct, all the variety parts, right? So that's two he received from his teacher. You are the custodian of the treasury of instructions encompassing all essential points. So everything you receive from all this variety teaching, method aspect, wisdom aspect, or all the Mahayana Buddhist teaching, you receive it, you put it into right custodian of the treasuries, this important instruction, treasury of instructions, encompassing all essential points of these parts, these two parts without error, right? Without any mistake, he bring it in Tibet. And he wrote the text, right, on these two practices. So that's called the Lamb of the Path to Enlightenment, but Atisha's text. This is the root text of the Lamrim. So I pay homage to you, O Dibamkara. Dibamkara is the name of Atisha. So finally Tibetan received this teaching because of Atisha Dibamkara, right? Without him, the Lamrim in Tibet is, of course, non-exist at all. Lamrim important teaching we received because of the Atisha Dibamkara. Atisha Dibamkara is so famous. He was one of the top scholars during that time in Nalanda and also Brikamshila. These are the two, one of the best Buddhist institute, monastic institutes. Thousands of scholars live in there, these two institutes. Atisha was one of the top scholar, one of the top practitioners. So Nalanda abbots don't want him to go to the Tibet. So that's why the Tibetan king has lots of struggle to send so many students there to request finally able to come to the Tibet. So that's how the Lamrim today we study. It's not just Tibetan master make it. It's not just one of the Lama Tsongkhapa or somebody. It's source. They're showing the source from Buddha, Maitreya, Manjushri. After that, Asanga and Nagarjuna. After that, Atisha Dibamkara. Finally, Atisha bring it into the Tibet. That's why we pay homage to the Dibamkara. Then the last homage stanza is Ranja Sonra Kula Tawemi, Pesan Taba Jubi Jungocho, Zeve Jube, Tabye Zewa, Seze Shini Nama Kuchates. You are the eyes to all, to see all the myriad, right? Myriad collections of scriptures. Myriad, which means countless, right? Countless of collections of the scriptures. To the fortunate ones traveling to freedom, you illuminate the excellent path. You do this through skillful deeds, strayed forth by compassion. I pay respectful homage to you, all my spiritual mentors. This is your gurus, your direct teachers, right? For Lama Tsongkhapa, he received this teaching from his direct teachers, his gurus. So for us, we receive this teaching from our gurus, right? So for me, I received teaching from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So also other masters, 2 or 3 different masters. So that's how the last stanza is kind of the homage to your guru, where you receive teaching from, right? You got this from your gurus. That's why the last stanza is homage to your guru. It's called, you are the eyes of all, see all the countless of collections of the scriptures, right? And to the fortunate ones traveling to the freedom, you illuminate excellent path. You do this through skillful deeds stray forth by compassion. So you are the eyes to see all the hard to pronounce. Maybe I can use countless of collections of scriptures. It can go to your direct guru, or it means lamrim, the text. You can go both way. For the text, the lamrim text is like an I who can study on lamrim. It's opening all the scripture. You're understanding all the Buddhist scriptures. So it is like I to see all the countless of Buddha scriptures. You can understand through study the lamrim. Or you can say you are the eyes, which is your gurus. Guru is the one who opened my eye to understanding countless of scriptures, the Buddha's teachings, the collections of the scriptures. Because most of the time we cannot study all of these things. So we understanding many things because of our gurus tell us, right? This. So he studied with the many scriptures and he brings the essence of the points and give us. So that's how, because of the gurus, even many scripture, we don't see them, but we understanding the main points of those scriptures. That's why our guru is like an eye to help us opening, right? To cleansing all the ignorance, kind of the wisdom, helps to grow our wisdom, our knowledge. So to you fortunate ones traveling to freedom, you illuminate excellent path. So you are the one who, the person who wants to travel into the freedom, liberation, you illuminate the excellent path. So you're showing those excellent path, to help us to go to the liberation. You do this through skillful deeds. So you teach the Dharma very skillful way, according to our mental disposition, a skillful way to teach us, skillful deeds, stray forth by compassion, out of your compassion, right? For teach us to the Dharma very skillful way. So I pay respectful homage to you or all my spiritual mentors. So I pay respect to my gurus and all my spiritual teachers. I pay respect. So that last stanza, actually, it's also talking about the guru devotion, the guru devotions. Maybe the next class I will going to talk about the guru devotion. We don't have time left here. It's already 8:30. So the guru devotion is one of the very, very important practice. But at the same time, it is very, very important to know what exactly that means. Many people, we make a mistake because we do not understanding what is the qualifications of the guru, the teachers, spiritual teacher. Spiritual teacher doesn't mean title like a Geshe or Rinpoche or His Eminence, whatever title, is not based on the title. So many people goes that, he's Geshe, he's something Rinpoche. Then, this is opportunity. Take. You never investigate. You have no idea who this guy is. Actually, the purpose of relying on that master it's for what? To help me to achieve bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, realization. Because my realization is the only take me to liberation, not your realization, not his realization, my realization, right? In order to reach to the enlightenment, Buddhahood, you have to generate your realization, your dharma. That dharma, we do not know how to get it. We have no idea. That's why you rely on guru. Guru means the person who can 100% helps me to achieve each of these realization. To do that, the guru itself, him or herself, need qualification. If they have not fully qualified it, it may not benefit to us. Sometimes it may disturbing us. So don't hurry to just say, oh, there's something, or take some, or initiation, empowerment, or something. Then you're not checking. After you say, oh, there's something wrong, then you blah, 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 you talk something very bad. It's not good. Now, I'm not just saying you can look it into the Lamrim text. The texts have exactly same meaning. If you make him or her as your guru, then make sure you have to have undestructible faith and respect attitudes, right? But it's your hand. Don't hurry. Listen teaching, no problem. You can listen to anybody, but not seeing him or her as a guru. Yourself do not know very well. You encouraging to the people, oh, do it this. Sometimes it may make big mistake. So make sure these things important, right? But there's a risk. There's a benefit, there's a risk. So if the person will qualify, even the person who are even not monk, lay person, doesn't matter. You see him or her as a teacher. It's not based on title, what you have, or what kind of life. It's not based on that. There's something inner qualities. So they, according to the Lamrim, there are 10 qualities. Guru's 10 qualities. These are very, very important to know. So, next class, we're going to start the Guru devotion. And doing that, you can, read the liberation of palm of your hand, right? Liberation of palm of your hand by Pampoka Rinpoche. Plus all these instruction, Guru devotions. And Lamrim Chemo, the stages of the path to uh, uh, enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa, extensive one, and the medium ones, both are available in English. This text, all of those texts are available in English, right? So read it and really step by step, go slowly. Then when your understanding is very good, then when you put it into the practice, confidence. If understanding is so, then when you practice, it also becomes so. It's very differences. So that's why I read those texts. And next class, when I'm going to give talk on the Guru devotion practice, then it may, helps you to understanding more, and it may help to some clarify, because there's a risk things. They also have advantages things. And when devotion doesn't mean whatever my guru said, I just follow. That's also extreme. That doesn't mean that. We are not believing whatever Buddha says. Right? Buddha, his only word. We have to be skeptical, but we need to be investigate. So these devotion things are complicated. So next class we'll go more in detail on that. Okay, today maybe we don't have time to leave the question answer sections. Don't think, today we don't have that much philosophy things teaching there. It's quite easy that is. So next we're going to leave the question answer sections. And then last thing is finally, when we finish the class, we're dedicating our merits and virtues. And also here, I put a few dedication prayers in your prayer book. So we should dedicate our merits. So I'm going to recite these dedication prayers. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four of faults, and be delivered from samsara oceans, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of true existence, while cause and effect and dependent arising are infallible. I seek your blessing to discern the import of Nagarjuna's thought that these two are complementary and not contradictory. May the precious and sublime Bodhicitta, not yet born, be born, and that which has been born not decline, but increase forever. In the snowy mountain paradise, you are the source of good and happiness. Powerful Tenzin Gyatso Genresi, may you stay until samsara ends. Okay, so finally, what I say, these uh, 2.5 months we have class. I try to finish all texts within these 2.5, months we have. Uh, that's my hope. So I try to thinking, oh, less explanation, go finish. Uh, but sometimes when I teach, then my mind is just stuck with that, and I'm forgetting the times. My problems. But I hope. But as a practitioner, when you really understand the full package of the Lamrim, it's really changed your practice. It really helps you. Huge. Right now we do little bit here, little practice here, little here, right? One sadhana, one here. Our practice remains scattery, right? It's you do not know. It's little, little, little out there. So when you got the Lamrim, it gives you clear map. You hear, like for instance, if you're in Atlanta, wants to go to the Florida, it gives you step by step. Okay, next stop, this city, then next stop, that city, next stop. So it gives you all instruction, like from ordinary person like us to all to the Buddhahood. First, what we started. Then first practice what? The second what? Third what? Right? It gives you stages of the path. That's how it's called Lam Rim, stages of the path. Gradually you have to go. You cannot jump something and go there, never success. So we have to go step by step. So this teaching help us to show the whole clear map from here to all the way to the Buddhahood. So when you have that general, all this map, then when you read this text, oh, this is practices for this. Oh, this teaching is for that stages. So you can bring everything into one. And it helps to not feel a contradictory, complementary. You read more different tradition, it's more helps you to complementary. Oh, this tradition helps me understanding bodhicitta path. Or this tradition helps me understand on this part. So that's why it brings you, much more clear. Therefore, these Lamrim teachings are really, really powerful, really important. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.